Alright, Boo, I promised you a small tutorial video on how I do my workflow and such, so I'm going to get to work on that and do as I said I was going to do. So, as you can see, I have a character currently in Blender that I just made. This is Rosie, the Queen of Roses. She's not necessarily done yet because I got to finish the top half where the inner petals are, but basically this is what I do. So I'm just going to demonstrate how I get my textures across while using Substance Painter 2. So I already have a file that's saved, but what you're going to want to do is you want to export your OBJ. Come down to, well, since I already exported something, what did I even call it? I think it was body prepping. There it is. So body prepping. So after you export your OBJ and whatever like pieces you want to do, you want to jump into your Substance Painter. So you're going to be greeted with this screen, obviously the new and amazing screen of just starting a project. So what I do is you just go over to new, and you're going to go find your saved little export, which for me is body prepping, and it's going to bring it into Substance Painter. Now, what you need to do in order to bake your maps, because this is going to show up, is you got to go over to Bake Maps over here. Just click it, and your resolution, or at least output size, I typically put it down to 2048. And from there, you just go over to this little box here, click the little new thing, and you're going to want to import your higher res poly. So if you have a higher res poly kind of model that you can base it off, you import it in here. And so since I have the body and I need the high res of the head, it's going to take these two and it's going to make a cage around them. After that, you just click on Bake All Texture Sets. And it's going to take a little while. It just, especially for the body of mine, because my body is 4 million polygons, which it shouldn't be that, but I was having trouble with the mesh itself, and I was just, forget it. I don't want to mess around with it. Let's just import it already and be done with it. So right now it's grabbing all the details as such that I had from a ZBrush with the higher poly, and it's painting it onto the lower. This might take a little bit. Typically you don't want to go over 4 million when it comes down to your high polys. I can lower that down somehow another way than I would, but currently can't. Almost done. Almost there. It's taking a little bit longer than it should, but that's what you get for importing high polys and being dumb like me. Technically, this would destroy a lot of people's computers. Unless you have a powerful computer like I'm running on mine, but yeah. I'm probably just going to re-record this. No, I'll just keep it. I'll keep it. But, alright. So after it's done loading, you're going to get all your detail you had from your high poly. So this is all I got for mine. It's not much. It's actually nothing. And I didn't do the baking for the soil here. I just wanted to demonstrate, but so you have that, and what you're going to do is just going to, if you want to actually see color, you want to start painting on your model inside this program. First, what you're going to need to do is you're going to need to go over here in the top area where it's your add a fill layer. Click on this, and not all the maps that you bake offhand are going to have an ID color map like mine do. But since I'm transferring over from ZBrush with color on it, it's going to have that map already placed in here that's going to bake when it comes down to baking my AO maps, my shadows, and normals. So I can just go over here to textures, find my body, and in order to see the actual color map on your model, You just grab, drag, and place it into the base color uniform color bar. And now it has my body here. Another thing you might run into is since you're going to be using Blender, you want to create a new material for every piece of your like if you have a model has multiple pieces like mine do, you're going to need to make a new material for each mat. So just basically go back into let's go back in the Blender for a second. So basically just go over here, go to your materials here and see that's default mat 0.002. What you're going to want to do is you're going to want to make a new one for each piece. So that way when it transfers into the program, if you're transferring multiple pieces, it's not going to be just one giant chunk. Because if you just don't change it, it's going to just come out as one chunk and it's going to be a pain in your ass. You're going to try to find out where you need to go, what you did wrong. And it was a question I had for a long time when it came down to Substance Painter, which made me avoid the program entirely. But yeah, it's a really simple program. I mean, if you want to have something like, let's say, I want to have some interesting colorization or mapping to it, so I'll make a fill layer. I'll go down to my materials over here, and they give you a small library to start off with. So, like, let's say if I wanted to add some carpet to it. As you can see, it looks kind of weird. It looks distorting and creepy looking, and you can see the seams coming across the body. So all I have to do here is just change my UV scale and lower it. And depending on what material you're using, you might get one that has perimeters. So I can be like, okay, I want my height map to be higher up, so that way it looks like it's popping out at me. Or if I wanted to have it low to where it's just flat, boom. The program is honestly just very simple. It just seems like it looks like it's kind of intimidating, but once you get the hang of it, it's just like Blender. It's super quick, it's right on the dime, does everything you want to do for you. And like, I mean, it does more than that too. Like if I want to add, like say, add a smart material. I want my character to be nothing but wood. I can go over here to my birch wood, click it, and boom. It automatically seeks out what it is, like where your seams are, and it tries to clean up how the pattern works upon your sculpture. This actually came out really good looking in wood. And with this comes with folders and such like that, so that way if I want to get rid of the dirt, I can. Get rid of the seams, or I can actually increase the seams by going down to what is it, wood pattern, and just like I can increase the amounts, lessen them, thickness, decreasing thickness, a lot of simple stuff like that. And if you even wanted more stuff, they always have, like, if you bought this through Steam, just click over here, and if you already made an account, you can make an account, go to the website, and there's a lot of free material you can use that have like smart brushes and such you can transfer over in this by simply going over to import resources, and from there you just find your files. You're not going to be able to see it on my thing, but the files you'll grab from the website, the ones you transfer over are called SBSAR files. You can't transfer over the SBS files, but SBR, you just plop that in there so you can see cotton fabric, and then you just change it to whatever the thing is. So if it's like if it's a base material, you change it to base material. If it's a flat texture, filter, whatever it is, go over here, and then you can have either current session, keep it on your shelf for all time, so whenever you're going to jump in the program, you never have to do it again, or just for the project. So yeah, that's the basics of a Substance Painter. I hope this is somewhat enlightening. I'm not a good tutorial maker, but I want to help out as much as I can because I believe in your builds. I like your builds. You make beautiful buildings. So I would love to see what comes out of this. or what comes out of the characters that you make from Blender, or if you ever get a chance, jump on ZBrush. So yeah, I will see you around. Hopefully this helped a little bit, and if you need any more like tips and such or questions that I can possibly answer, just let me know. Be happy to try to solve them for you.